The curious case of Alek Manoah.
It is too. It is so bizarre. This whole thing from like back from the very beginning of him getting demoted all the way down to the complex league. Like
Yeah.
that move in and of itself was baffling. Absolutely bizarre. I don't know why they sent him to the Florida Complex League instead of down the street to Buffalo.
Exactly. So let's recap the curious case of Alek Manoah. First, demoted to the Florida Complex League June 6th. That did not go super well. Then he was promoted to Double A July 1st. Promoted back to the big leagues July 15th. Then he was optioned to AAA Buffalo August 11th. He never reported. Players have 72 hours to report when they're optioned. He did not. Today, it was reported that that he received several injections in his throwing arm. Oh boy, to reduce inflammation. Doctors say they have not found any structural muscle damage or ligament tears. Okay, if Alek Manoah can prove there's an injury, he can file a grievance, and that will allow him to receive service time he did not accrue during this year because he was demoted instead of being put on the injured list. This whole thing is bad business. I don't know who is hosing whom. Whom? Who?
Whom? Yeah, whom?
Yeah. Because wait, was there a preposition there? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point
There's
is
certainly a verb. Maybe gerund. Anyway,
hosing. There it is, Jaron. Anyway, the point
yeah.
is who's culpable here. Is it bad business on both sides? Is this who's being shady, Brad? That's where
This is the thing is that we don't have all the information here. Like back in what was it? Back in June when he was first demoted, when he was first sent down to the complex league,
yeah.
if he didn't say, I think there's a problem with my elbow or my
Right.
shoulder or something, then how is the team to know? You know, we
Exactly.
don't know if he was complaining about discomfort in his elbow that like Scherzer says, he had a dead arm. I've heard guys describe an elbow that needs Tommy John as a soupy arm. You know, he
Soupy.
didn't. We haven't heard anything about any of this, and I don't know if that's just because we're not in the Toronto area, and we're not getting inside information like that. But at the same time, though,
No.
I've been following this pretty closely because this is a pretty crazy thing that's gone on with Alek Manoah this year,
Yeah.
because he was a finalist for the Cy Young last year, was supposed to have an outstanding year this year and just did not. Flat out had a bad year.
Yeah.
And if it turns out that he had an injury that he was playing through this entire time, like Sandy Alcantara, right?
Yep.
That there's an issue there, right? Then he has a grievance with the Blue Jays. But and I can see
If
why
they
he's
knew.
like, if they knew, right?
If
But if he never
right.
said anything, then nobody's to know. But this is the big thing with him is that there's a thing called a Super Two,
Okay.
which is guys who have 2 years of service time and are in the top 22% of players. As far I
Okay.
think it's as far as WAR goes, they qualify for arbitration instead of needing a third year of service time.
Right.
So he was well on his way to being a Super 2 and getting arbitration at the end of this year instead of having to wait until the end of next year.
Whoa.
But Brig, not only did he have a terrible year, but if he, from what I understand with what I read, if he, by not reporting to AAA Buffalo, he doesn't get service time this year, any that
Right.
he had accrued. So then next year he would be getting his second year of service time, but he's not on his way to being a Super 2 anymore. So he's
No.
got to wait 2 more years until he can reach arbitration. And
Which
that's
is
the thing that's
why
really crazy about this whole thing.
my question is who the heck is at fault here? Are the Blue Jays operating in bad faith because they knew about the injury and let it ride and just bounced him around, or is Alek Manoah and his camp, are they culpable in this situation for not having informed the club that something was wrong? I think that's the only two ways we can split it, isn't it?
I think
Unless
I think if he had been injured, I think he would have said something early, been like, oh, something's going on, that's why I'm not pitching well. right? Because that's a way better solution than getting sent down to the complex league to work out
Totally.
whatever mechanical issues you have. And he pitched in complex league games. I think he pitched in a double A game,
He
and then he
did,
came
yeah.
up and he was up for like a month, and I think he had 5 starts, something like that,
Yeah.
4 or 5
Yeah.
starts. He's pitched since he went down to the complex league. He's pitched in the big league since then.
Right.
But I think that with all these struggles, if there was something wrong, I think he would have come out and said it, because it gives him a chance to get his mind right, get his body right. And like I said, well on his way to being a Super 2, he needs to not be out there stinking it up, because then
Right.
he's robbing himself of money. So I think honestly it's on him. And I think now his agent is like, look, there's a way we can try to fix this. We need to take this route, right?
Yeah.
Like, because it's in the agent's best interest to get him paid as much as possible too.
100%.
And it's his job to take care of his client. So I don't want to say it's nefarious or shenanigans, but I think they're trying to find a way to get him some of his service time.
So the writer side of me is like, oh, you know what's going on. And I've built this incredibly complex list of possibilities and, ill intent and,
Basically
so and
service
so.
time manipulation without
Yeah,
without setting a guy.
in Manoah's camp, it being like, well, we got him out of that jam, but that caused this other problem, and now we got to deal with that, and here we are. I mean?
One problem begets another.
Yeah. Kind of
Yeah.
like one of the Hangover movies, right? Where it just
Yeah.
gets bigger and bigger and bigger.